So welcome everyone to Thursday Core. It's wonderful to be here. Let's begin today's class on our backs, placing the bolster underneath our hips. My name is Alex, and we're gonna work nose to toes today. We're gonna use the breath, because remember, when it comes to yoga, it's all about breathing. It's through breathing that we receive the healing. And in order to heal, we have to feel. So take a deep breath in. Hold the breath at the top of the breath. Slowly draw your knees in towards your chest and just give a nice squeeze. Exhale, let it go. Let's do 10 breaths to begin from here. Relaxing your head. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. And remember, this is a gentle journey. So we slowly take the breath in. Again, breathing through the nose. If your nose is constricted, breathe through your mouth, but you want to fill your body with breath. And then exhaling. Exhale through the mouth. It's really nice and releasing. Or again, through the nose. This is your preparatory work as you start to engage your respiratory system. And remember, as we breathe, we're breathing through our nose, through our chest, through our belly. And what does that respond to or associate with anatomically? Right? Our nasal passage, our lungs, and our abdomen. Right? Our diaphragm, going deep down in the body's physiological aspects, but also seeing their psychological aspects. As we increase the exhale, we also increase our relaxation, being able to get grounded and stabilized here on the floor. Good, 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Now from here, relax your head side to side and start to curl and point your toes. Nice and easy, holding the same position. Just relax your head side to side and start curling and pointing toes. Remember, if you have a blanket, you can always use your blanket, or if you have a pillow available, even though your bolster may be being used, you can always slide that under your head if you're feeling any neck pain. Again, one of those things you don't want to have in the practice. Right? We want to isolate the movement. We want to figure out the micro movement. And right now, we're focusing on our heads and we're focusing on our heels. By pointing and curling the toes, we're working at the lowest point of the body. And again, happy toes. You can stretch your toes as you do that. You can point and flex them. Again, it's a muscle. It needs to be worked. And if we don't use it, we lose it. Right? And that's a lot of the mobility of the pinky toe. So stretching, feeling through the heels all the way to the toes, and then through the head, right? As you relax your head side to side. Again, get it nice and comfortable. And if it's not, put a pillow under it and continue. It'll be the exact same movement, just with a little accommodation. Perfect. 10, 9, point, curl, 6, 5, point, curl, 2, and 1. Beautiful. From here, keep your toes curled nice and strong and slowly kick one leg out at a time. So nice and easy, just kicking one leg at a time. Make sure your hands grab hold of your thighs and then kick out the other leg. And again, this can be as fast or as slow as it wants. Just keep curling. Don't uncurl your toes. For 10. Stretch one leg at a time. 9. 8. Bring the breath into it. Nice and long and deep. Remember, as we talk about all the time, it doesn't have to be inhale, exhale. That's rudimentary, right? That's basic. We want to focus on full inhale, full exhale. Because remember, the only thing that makes yoga different than exercise is this spiritual component. And it starts with the tangible. It starts with the breath. Good. And finally bringing everything in nice and tight. And when you're ready, continue onward, both legs, and then back in. Don't think, keep everything curled. Both legs back in. And all you're doing is keeping your toes curled and pushing in and out, and this engages everything, helps stabilize everything. Beautiful. For 10. And 9. Kick to different places, lower, higher, unlimited, because my couch is in front of me. But again, just doing my best to kind of explore as much as I can. 6, 5, 4, 3. Breathing all the way in, all the way out. Beautiful. And 1. Legs up in the air. Now, I'm just outside the camera range, so I'm going to bend my knees to show you. Point toes, curl toes, point toes, curl toes, okay? So again, I'm just a little bit above, but I prefer to stay closer to you and keep that communication strong, right? Keep sharing the teachings as we practice. So breathing all the way in, all the way out, you're going to feel all sorts of strong sensations. Again, we're warming up the body, nose to toes. And again, increasing circulation through respiration, increasing circulation through movement, right? Movement is medicine for the body. And as we breathe, stillness becomes medicine for our minds. Good. 10, 9, feel that movement, feel that healing, feel that feeling. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Listen carefully. Curl toes and lift. Lift. So it's called the pulse. We're pulsing. My hips aren't coming off the bolster per se. They're rolling through. So getting legs straight, keeping toes curled and rolling through. For 10, pulsing. 9, feel it in your lower back. You can even place your hands on your abdomen and really push down. 7, 6, 5, 4, breathing. And 1, bicycle, relax. So now really catch your breath, right? If you lost it, catch it, right? It's yours. It's always here. It's always within, right? So allow yourself to catch your breath or catch up to your breathing, right? Mirror and match. Not how you're feeling, but how you maybe want to feel, or how you, as we've discussed in earlier weeks, know, right, to feel, right? When we do yoga, we're not doing yoga, we're being yoga. And we really discover that feeling at the end of class. So again, in this point of the class, you may not feel it. You may feel a little tired. Maybe you're feeling a little unawakened, right? Well, let's get woke, right? Let's wake ourselves up. Let's be alive to our living and awake to our waking. It starts with the physical body. Because if the physical body is sluggish, the mental body is sluggish. So whether we're talking about the organ of the brain or we're talking about the mind, right? This awakening is nose to toes. And there's nothing like the breath, because again, 5 minutes without breathing is not life. It's the opposite of life, right? It's death. And so life is all, fundamentally surrounding the breath. It's fundamentally surrounding life, right? 30 days without food, 7 days without water, practically. Like, I'm sure there's some exceptions to that, but there's not very many exceptions to 5 minutes without breathing, right? So we'll always remember that. That's why we put more emphasis on the breath than we do the movement. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Work hard, rest harder. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. And again, just stay here. If you'd like to go to the next level, grab from the inside of the legs to the outside of the feet. And once you have grab hold, you can start to go into playful baby. So happy baby is when you hold, right? Playful baby is when you don't have to hold it. You can move around, you can stretch in different ways. You're just holding on to your feet. Again, like a baby, like a yogi, innocent, playful, fun, exploratory. Focusing on the system of your body that can release that tension. Remember, if you get that tension, what we call that sacred tremor in your body, right? You want to ride that out. You want to go in and out of it, and you want to breathe and tell your body it's totally natural. And it's like trying to convince yourself to go to sleep. Some people can do it, some people can't. What's the difference? Right? And that is an exploratory process. I can give you an answer, but the answer is not the same for everybody, right? And that's the true answer. So when you know the real answer is that you don't know the answer, right? You can suggest, you can predict, but there's no way to actually know it unless we know it for ourselves. Beautiful. 10 more breaths, playing around here. Knees to the side body. Heels to hips. That's 3. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Now we've really worked our lower body. So we place soles of the feet on the floor and just windshield wiper your knees slowly slide to side. All right, take all the time you need. There's no rush. There's no limit how far you go. And again, the movement continues to stay constant, like a continuum, and you just sort of accelerate and exaggerate and expand from there. So we're going side to side, and then all you do is when you're ready to take it to level 1, you just take the feet off the ground. Then you're ready to bring it to level 2. You may have to adjust your bolster. I can feel it. It's not in the exact right position, but level 2 is I start to bring it up towards my chest, toward my heart. And then, of course, level 3, I might even lift my feet up and try and get my knees straight down to my shoulders. So I'm really just carving out the spaces in between the forward and the backward bend, where we really work on our abdominals and our lower back. And again, as we just move and groove, there's no limit, right? We don't have to go all the way down and all the way up. We can just do a little bit, right? You can get this sensation from any point. But the point is, if you're not getting this sensation, why? And maybe that requires more depth, or maybe that requires more momentum or speed, or maybe you're missing a certain area. Maybe you're not going to a certain place, and that's something we want to explore. So we're going to do that for 10 more breaths as we move around. And if this movement isn't satisfying, you can always do circles. Again, this is just a modified version of that. So we're going to continue going side to side, just relaxing. Cactus arms, head relaxes, shoulders relax. And if you want, you can look in the opposite direction, right? Get that nice twist through it. And again, just really carving out the back side and the front side, feeling in between those forward folds and backward bends, this remarkable twisting. Good. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. bring knees into chest, give yourself a nice squeeze just to feel the effect. And then lower feet onto the ground. Get the ground nice and grounded, right? Stabilize yourself. Right? Adjust, just make sure you're comfortable. Use your elbows on the floor. Take a deep breath in. And as you inhale, hold the breath at the top of the breath and lift yourself up in pulse for 10, 9, hold the breath, 8, 7, try and bring your knees together slowly, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, exhale down. Okay, now we're going to do spinal tilts. We're not coming up and down, we're just rolling out through the spine, pointing down, pointing back up, pointing down, pointing back up. And now, right, that breathing has become so much easier. Right? Feel that rhythm, feel that flow. And when you're ready, on the next inhale, we're going to go up. Lift up, use your elbows and lift. And see if you can bring your knees closer together for 10, as if you were squeezing a block. 9, I just imagined squeezing my knees together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, crush the block until it's a thin piece of paper. 2, and 1, lower down. Continue spinal tilts. You're going to feel where your muscles get sore. And again, I'm just doing it with my hands. You don't have to do this with your hands. Your hands can just be relaxed. But I try and show you what's kind of happening in my body. Right? So again, my tailbone is tilting down. My tailbone is tilting up. I'm not lifting. I'm just tilting. I'm just getting a really big massage through my backside. Most of the weight is in my shoulders, but I can still lift my head. Right? So head is nice and relaxed. Head is comfortable. And all I'm doing is crushing that bolster and lifting it. There it goes. Crush and lift. Good. We're going to keep breathing through it one more time. So on the next inhale, right, it's time to lift up when you're ready and pulse again. But this time you don't have to hold the breath. Just keep up here. Oh, I wish I could use the force and grab my timer. So we'll have to do one more round. Good. 10, breathing. 9, you got this. 8, so making the movement more natural. See if you can bring those knees together. 6, again, slowly, right? You don't need to touch the knees. Even though I can touch my knees, I'm not even going for it. I'm just going slowly. 3, 2, and 1, lower down again. Tailbone tilts. Just tilting tailbone up, tilting it down. At first it's going to feel sluggish, but then you'll bring back that energy. This energy is really important. This is essential to the core. So today's class, we're going to go a little slower, we're going to go a little deeper, and we're going to work hard in the details. My professor said the other day during clinical psychology lecture, he said, God is in the details. That was taught from his advisor. God is in the details. What we call God is the mystery, right? And God is the word for mystery. Anything that's a mystery is God, right? It's unprovable, it's unexaminable, right? It's something beyond, all of our material world, right? That's the nature of God, generator, operator, destroyer. And so this is where the details lie. I like to see it in the yoga philosophy as change, right? The mystery is change. That's why we can't detect the mystery, because it's always changing. And that change teaches us things. And there's been many changes throughout time. But one change that is certain is the changeless, that which does not change, that which we call yoga. Because union, by its very nature, or like the infinite by its very nature, right, is just what it is, right? It would be changeless, it would be infinite, which means there is no beginning, no end. And that's where it all links to God and the imagination. So what we call God is almost our last imagination, because there's nothing beyond that. And then what we call not God is our greatest imagination, because we would be exercising some sort of form or understanding of something that is a complete mystery. So it's very profound in its nature. So with that, you've had a nice relaxing time as I've been talking, getting you nice and chill. We're going to hold, okay? 3 minutes. Might be too long. That's okay. Let's attempt it. Let's try. If you want to get rid of your bolster, you can. I don't mind it. Or you can just kind of flip it and just kind of get rid of it if you want to grab hold of your ankles. But you want to just find a nice frame. And remember, your bolster's always there if you need to take a break. And then come back up, right? Walk your shoulders, lift yourself up nice and high. And again, your knees can come out, they can come in. You can pulse, right? You're relaxing everything as you're lifting up. And learning how to activate the lower back. And why do we do all those tailbone tilts? Trust me, your tailbone is not going toward the floor. You want to imagine that you are hanging by your tailbone, that something is grabbing from behind you, from your lower back upward towards the ceiling. It's almost as if you were going to go upside down. The lift is so powerful that it's going to lift your feet and arms off the floor. And your head is just going to dangle down, and you're going to be hanging upside down from your tailbone. And the reason this is, there's many reasons, but one of the most esoteric and mystical reasons was because when we go upside down, our head is actually the seed. And what we call the stem or the branches, right, or the trunk, right, that is actually our spine and our legs and our arms. But the seed, right, the seed, that which lives under the earth, is actually our brains. And so when we go upside down, we actually see the world right side up. And so our seed is the vertical point, and then our stem and our roots and our trunk is all below us. So in this position, you really get the sensation of lifting up and being able to feel that this is normal, because this strengthens your back, strengthens your nose to your toes. Everything is being strengthened here. And remember, the harder you work, the deeper we rest, right? That's the reward. You work hard, you get rewarded harder, right? And that means deep peace, piece by piece, for each part of our body. There's no greater peace than when we apply effort, because the effort is the reward. That's the gift. We don't need to go anywhere. We can lie on a beach in just a minute, but we won't get that feeling of being that relaxed unless we can really, really endure with gratitude. Not force, not fix, endure with gratitude. And remember, coming out and coming back in is always acceptable. Okay, let's look at the clock, see what we got. Okay, so we're under a minute. Don't know how close we are, but my spider sense is tingling. 3 minutes is almost over. You can do this. Breathe deeply. Increase circulation through respiration. Feel it. Major cardiovascular workout, and we're not doing anything. There it is. Relax down and take a whole minute to yourself. Again, I can suggest tailbone tilts, but again, whatever feels right for you. Take a whole minute to yourself. Clock starting now. Just enjoy. Okay, because when we do things in a yin way, it's always good to reward them in a yin way. We're also going to take another relaxing posture, so not to worry. We're going to take way more than a minute because we took 3 minutes. Right? So work hard, play harder. No, work hard, rest harder. Right? Because once we're rested, then we can properly play. Right? If we don't rest, then, we may play and we may be mean, or may be rushed, or may hurt ourselves. So work hard, play harder is not always the best philosophy. Nothing wrong with playing. It's just play like fun always comes from being chill, being relaxed. And that's what we practice here. Comfort, relaxation, right? It all stems from that. If you're uncomfortable, nothing's going to happen. Right? If you're not relaxed, nothing's going to happen. Because that tension is separation. Beautiful. Full minute. So now let's get into something really sweet. All right, so let's take that bolster. Perfect. Good. Roll onto left or right side. Place it behind us. And if you feel like it, you can take a head pillow and just place it behind your head. And we're going to lower down onto the ground. Oh. Open up our legs. We're just going to open up our heart center. Beautiful, right? Because we just activated all that energy in the hips. And now we're just going to let that ground now. So now was at the highest point. Guess what? Now it's at the lowest point of the spine. And so we can just let it chill there, doing the exact opposite thing we just did. And now we can just feel where it was difficult. And if you really want to focus on where the strength comes from the ability to hold that, it is in the glutes, but you're not even supposed to be, contracting the glutes. Glutes are relaxed. It's all coming from the frame of your skeleton and all those muscles, tendons, and ligaments that support that. Ultimately, are connective tissue, and that's why we breathe through it. So now that your hips are relaxing, your heart is more open. If you place your hands on that heart region, you can feel that solar plex area, where that wishbone is. And when you feel into that area, that's the origin of that hold. When you're holding up with your hips up in bridge pose, it really starts here and then it goes all the way down. And that's why this feels so good, because we're stretching it, right? We're giving it a nice stretch again. But technically what we're doing is lifting our heart right now, like fish pose, which is almost like the stacked version from hips to heart. Right now we're lifting the heart up high. Imagine if you didn't have a bolster, how difficult this would be, right? You'd be shaking. So it's very relaxing. So deep breaths in, deep breaths out to really open up the rib cage. As I breathe, I always like to feel the spaces in between my ribs, right? They can get quite tense. If you've ever seen like a rack of lamb, right? We have that same look, right? Our ribs, not quite ribs, but it's more like a rack of lamb when you see that white spidery connective tissue, that fascia in the meat, right? We have that same spidery thinness to our rib cage. There's not as much meat. And that's where you really want to relax it, because remember, the fascia runs nose to toes. It affects everything. What we call in the skull is dura, right? It's all over us. It's one of the only things, including our nervous system, that runs through our bodies, top to bottom. It's actually more so, right? It literally wraps every muscle. It's like saran wrap for your body. It's how things don't get together, right? It keeps the separation in non-separation. It's like literally the definition of yoga, which is beautiful. And so let's do one Brahmari to clear. Deep breath in. All right, beautiful. So we're going for a more foundational understanding today, which is great. It's always good to go back to the mores. So my feet are totally relaxed, okay? They're actually opened up to the side because that was very relaxing. So again, I'm just gonna show you again, just by wiggling it out, just how relaxed my body is right now. And I hope you can do the same, because again, we're gonna look at it from a foundational level and build it up from there. And remember, everybody is different. So, slow is swift, swift is fast, right? But don't move fast unless you can move swiftly, and don't move swiftly unless you move slowly. It always starts with the yin, and then we evolve into the yang. Which is funny because this class comes first, but that's the contradiction of all spirituality. We want the hard stuff first and then the soft stuff second. So slowly, reaching up, and that's it. That is the move. So again, you tuck your chin, and you start to go little bits by a time. Now I'm getting stopped right there, so I'm gonna go back and relax. And then I'm gonna tuck my chin, and I'm gonna go up again and try and go up higher, pushing vertebrae by vertebrae, just like we did tailbone tilts. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Oh, I felt something, so I'm gonna come back down. And whenever I feel something, I relax, right? And remember, it runs nose to toes. The fact that you can feel something is because you have a peripheral nervous system. The fact that you can feel something is because you have a central nervous system. It's communicating to you right now. Your job is to listen. Breathe is listening. Breathing is engaging in conversation of both talking and listening. Right? You can see it as inhale, listening, exhale, speaking, because that is the truth. You can't speak on it. It doesn't. So again, it's the same feeling with our movement. Right? This is as far as I'm going, and I'm back down. Relax. But again, now I'm starting to feel like, actually it feels better if I don't go all the way back down. And that's totally cool. But then you want to come back down, because you might push it to a place I'm feeling now down here in my belly button. At first I was up here in my solar plex, now I'm a little lower. I want to get all the way down, and I'm just going to push it a little bit because I can, right? So again, I'm going to show you that eventually what happens is I'm literally anchoring my body here. So I'm going vertebrae by vertebrae. Oh, there's the shakiness. There's the shaking. So I'm pushing through it, but I would have come back down, right? So again, I'm just anchoring myself lower and lower. So I start at the ribs, right? I could do a couple here, relax. Right, I go a little bit lower to the belly button. Can I roll all the way to my belly button and feel? See, hear my voice? See how it's getting gaga? Why? Because if I push a little bit more down, that's the weak spot. Doesn't mean I can't do it. Doesn't mean I don't have the sensations. But that's the point of this practice. We do yang things in a yin way, right? We can do this for 10 minutes. You're all trained to do it. It's amazing. Right? Because it's quality, not quantity. If I said to you, we have to do 20 of these, it would be hard. But because you can relax and because you can let go, it's effortful. And that's what yoga practice needs to be, effortful, right? Not hard, effortful. You can look good and be in shape and have a cardiovascular workout and it not being hard, right? It can be difficult. It can be challenging, but you know, if you work in a yin way, right, you can enjoy it. I'm very much enjoying all this. Very much have a smile on my face and very much feeling, again, look at the abdomen. Look how strong the core is as I start to come up. I'm going from here, curling even more, curling even more, curling even more. There it is. Oh, new sensation. Then I stop again. I come back down. Good. Let's put a minute on the timer and let's just really enjoy it. One more minute on the clock. And again, take it at your pace. You can just rest here for another minute if you need, right? There's no rush. It's all about exploration. As you get better, you start to make little circles along the way. So my didgeridoo teacher, Bo, he taught me that instead of going wong, right? And you're playing in a time code of, you know, straight up, what you can feel is, right? So you can do multiple smaller circles. So it's like circle, 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 circle. Rather than think it's just one big circle, it allows you to, it's almost like pulling at a rope. Quick, quick, quick. Or those boxers that do this. You're never going to hit someone like this. That's not the point. But what he was teaching me was that acceleration doesn't have to come through speed or velocity, right? It can come through intention. So if you're going one vertebrae at a time, why not go circle by circle and literally lift one up at a time and then back down? Beautiful. Good. Relax your head, relax your shoulders. Everything relaxed. Soles of the feet to the floor. Tailbone lifts up, tailbone down. Notice now, the tailbone is not on the bolster, so you got a lot of room to lift and drop down. So remember, we were tilting and thing with the bolster underneath us. Now the bolster's not. So now when you do that tilt, you can really flex back. So now this is cow pose. And then we go into cat. So we're doing cat-cow, but we're doing it from the ground. Right? And you can practice bringing your knees together. Right? Because that's an internal rotation. Right? It feels different. You might feel things getting jammed up. That's good, right? Just keep doing it. The key is if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So if you are using it, you will not lose it, right? There's nothing to be lost, right? Because you're using it. So it's up and down. And again, even after doing up and down so many times, I'm still feeling cricks and cracks. You know, that internal gas being released between the joints. Right? Feel. That beautiful popping sensation. Right? And it's not bad for us. Right? Of course, grinding the bone on the bone is bad, but those pops that go, those aren't bad. Right? Because we're breaking through the fixation. I just felt another one down as I'm lifting my hips up. And I'm not coming off the bolster. Head is relaxed, shoulders relaxed, good, 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Next stage of the movement. Hips lift up. And then as you drop the hips, you lift yourself up. Oh, that's as far as I want to go. And we're sliding from the hips down to the ground, sliding up, and eventually you can get to your elbows, right? Eventually you can get to your armpits. But again, you want to feel the movement. You want to feel this because the bolster right now is acting like a tricycle, right? Imagine this without the bolster. It's going to be a whole lot harder. But again, getting the spinal movement is what's important. You see how many curves are happening? It's almost too many to even describe. Watch. Tailbone up, tailbone down. As tailbone comes down, it lifts heart. Push heart back. Curl up. As heart curls up, push tailbone down. Heart lifts forward, tailbone's back. There's so much happening here. As you roll down, right, you're pushing down, tailbone lifts up. Heart is back, tailbone is up. Tailbone goes down, heart naturally comes forward. Push heart down to curl, lift up. Tailbone starts to engage, push tailbone down to lift yourself up the rest of the way, right? Explore it, right? You have to feel it in order to heal it, right? Visualization can only take us so far. Meditation, it's wonderful. It can take us beyond the beyond. But if the body isn't ready for it, you won't get there. It will keep you from being there. And that's one of the big secrets to all of this, right? Creating a pain-free environment. Doesn't matter whether we have pain or not, when we are practicing, are we focused on the pain or are we focused on the sensations like breathing? Because if our attention is on our breath, it's not on our pain. And it's not that the pain stops being there, it just starts to get managed better. Beautiful. 10 full deep breaths. And remember, it's not inhale, exhale, right? It's inhale, it's exhale. I love when they say the same thing, but with just a slightly different tone, and everyone knows what that means. So we're actually doing a whole lot of sit-ups, but it doesn't feel like we are because we're guiding ourselves to the movement, right? It's about quality, not quantity, and you can stop and rest and slow it down. Or if it's not hard enough, right, you start to pop it out, right? There's no reason why you can't challenge yourself if you're feeling it, right? But you don't have to, right? Slow is swift. Swift is fast. 4. 3. 2. And 1. When we come up, we're going to do our first forward fold of the day. Stretch those legs out forward, walk those hips back. Obviously, I'm going to have to move my bolster, but again, you can just always shuffle it back with your butt. And as you come back, walk back, walk back. The walking back is important because that gets you forward. And then once you're fully forward, you can relax. Again, curl toes, point toes. Even before I go for my toes, I start just feeling, right? I just start feeling because I don't want to force my way in, right? I don't want to fix the problem. I want to allow and accept it, because by allowing and accepting it is how the body best heals it. That's why sleep is the best medicine. It's when we're not involved. So if you're ready to go a little further, you can grab the outsides, right? Curl your toes, and that just gets a more aggressive or intense stretch. Again, keep your legs straight. That's the whole point. If the legs want to bend, push them down. That's fine. But if you can't do that while holding, just let go, and that way get the legs straight first, because that's level 1. And again, notice I'm not talking about hands. Level 2 has nothing to do with your hands. Level 2 has to do with being able to get into your lower back by bending your elbows. So whether you're grabbing your feet or you're grabbing your ankles, you can even do this without grabbing anything. All right, so it's just that micro movement of that bend in the elbow. And then from that bend in the elbow, that's level 2, you start to relax your head. That's level 3, right? Relax your head, relax your head. And then you're imagining your crown coming to the floor. You're looking in, right? Through your belly button, right? And if you just focus through your third eye center, if your eyes are closed, right? Your imagination, right? Activate your imagination, look through your belly button. You'll notice just by focusing on that gaze, you're gonna go deeper. There's just something about that focused attention that just helps direct the movement. Beautiful. And once we get to this point, we're looking through and feeling. The only higher place we can go in our forward fold is literally ice cream scooping our abdomen. So again, you're still getting a core workout because you're ice cream scooping on that exhale. It's like, and then before you inhale, you kind of roll it around, rolling it around. I'll try and show you. It's a little dark though because of the forward fold. But if I can see, rolling it. Right, massaging your organs in the forward fold, right? That's as high as you can go. That's where we borderline on what we call the bandhas, right? These internal locks. It's known as Jawliner band, right? This uplifting feeling through the diaphragm. I like to call it ice cream scoop. I'm starting to notice that a lot of my posture adaptations are named after sweets because we want to feel that way, right? That's the feeling of bliss, of joy, of happiness, of health, right? I mean, we can take it seriously, but the seriousness eventually has to be released into sweetness. And sweetness is the source of when you know you're good, because it's natural. It's as natural as laughing or smiling, right? Or sneezing. It's just natural, right? A sneeze is shocking, right? It's natural, right? Eating bad food and getting sick, it's natural, right? Nothing is unnatural about this, right? So carving it out, feeling those sensations. And then final level for all of us to clear the posture, we're gonna do one bromary all together. Deep breath in. Awesome, fantastic. Good. Slowly coming up. Good, we got just a little bit of time, and we're gonna just do one more important posture. We're gonna turn around now on our backs, and we're gonna come into a Sphinx pose. So again, showing you from the side, I just bring my elbows down, roll down, and you're gonna feel it right away. It's a nice counter stretch. Because again, we're going into that same position we were in heart opener, but now we're going the reverse way. Right? Now look again, the hips are the lowest thing toward the ground, yes. But now that lowest thing towards the ground is no longer relaxing. Right? Because now we're holding the backward bend against gravity. Right? So as we roll it against gravity, it becomes harder. So you press down your elbows just like we did before, right? And then start to move through your shoulders. So just like we were bending through the elbows, start to move through your shoulders. And slowly start to look left and right. Right? Imagine yourself growing upward without your hands one day. We're not going to do that just yet. So imagine, like, again, just to give you future reference, when I'm doing this, what I'm imagining is doing this. All right, without hands. But I'm going to do it with hands so I can get the lift in the spine. And it's the repetitive movement of doing this that's going to awaken those deeper muscles. How those people can hold it for so long. It's one thing to do it. It's another thing to be able to hold it with the breath. Well, if it's hard to breathe even just doing this with your arms, then it's going to be next to impossible to do it if you try and do it without. So again, if you can do it with the breath, it's because you're awakening those muscles. There's no need to rush into it. Right? You might be just doing this for months and months and months and trying, without hands every once in a while. So I'm going to give you that permission. You can just keep doing this, pushing in and lifting up and getting that qualitative experience. Or next level, if you wish, as you come up, don't press through the elbows. Let yourself come up and you lift your elbows and imagine touching them behind you. And then again, you can come up and down a few times. And then if you get tired, forehead to the floor. Remember, if you're large-breasted, bring the bolster a little lower. So again, you're not interfering or creating any distress. Right? And then when you get tired, just slide your elbows underneath and keep going. Right? Don't stop. So there's no giving up. It's just giving in. Right? We can hold Sphinx for a long time. It's not hard. It's challenging. It's not hard. Again, notice how much movement I'm doing through my shoulders. I'm lowering down. I'm lifting up. Okay, now I'm ready to try it with my strength. Right? I just stay in that flow and I just open up my elbows and I bring my elbows together. I just focus on my elbows coming together, and that brings everything into that beautiful back bend, everything towards the spine. And so you're using all your muscles in your back body. 10, 9, whatever version we're doing. 8, 7, breathing in, breathing out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Now we're going to extend the arms out to the side. We're going to do the same thing with push-ups. So now you're exploring your push-ups in all different ways, right? Peeling yourself off the ground, right? Trying to relax a little bit more. The other one was a little bit more effortful. This is a little bit more, you're trying to get into those places where you feel like your body is preventing the lift. And I can feel it. Right, that feeling, that energy, that flow. Right, and then over time, same thing, right? You might do a fake push in your brain, like, right, just to see if you can get the same sensation as if you use your arms. Again, it's an exploration. It's a perpetuated movement. Because why? Some medicine needs to be administered this way, qualitatively. Right? Doesn't matter how many you do. Can you endure with gratitude? Can you do these yang movements in a yin way? Can you endure 3-4 minutes in Sphinx, 5 minutes actively and resting whenever you need to? Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Relax your jaw, relax your head. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Push off the ground, right back into your child's pose, hips to heels. If the bolster is in front of you, great. You can put your elbows on it, your hands, whichever you prefer. And just allow your body to drop. Hips to heels. And I like to put the elbows on it, and I can just push down through my armpits, and that subtle sensation just runs through my side body down toward my tailbone. hips to heels, right? You're getting this beautiful stretch, beautiful moment to rest and recover. Beautiful. And from here, coming up, fantastic. Let's allow ourselves to just turn around, roll over onto our backs, slide our bolsters underneath our knees, and just really take our Shavasana with ease. So again, squeeze your glutes, release your glutes, all that electrical energy now out of the body. Again, feeling the difference from when you were in the prone position, belly down or abdomen down, and now abdomen up, facing up. In these different positions, right, how gravity flows through you. If there's any discomfort, remember, adjust. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor, right? Whatever you need to do to help yourself relax. And remember, Shavasana is a state of stillness. The idea here is that you integrate, and that integration helps you elevate, helps you get you out of your own way. So let's begin it with one deep Brahmari all together. Deep breath in. Gently relaxing your head side to side. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out completely. your fingers. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. When you're ready, just slowly help yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Right, take all the time you need to get here. Just relax. Remember, the soles of the feet can be underneath the knees, or again, if you have that openness in the hips, you can come towards the base of the spine. And again, you're just relaxing, hips down. Again, noticing why we're doing all this core, right? It's to sit, right? Sitting is the master posture in yoga, right? It's the black belt, right? It's where we begin. All that yoga is all meant, whether it's yin or yang, whether it's vinyasa or hatha, right? It's all meant to ensure this, because this is the master posture. This is the spaceship. This is the antenna, right? So the antenna is strong right now. Spine is strong. Spine has been stretched just like it wants to. It has 4 curves. We need to stretch all 4 of those curves. And we have to stretch them in 7 ways. So it's incredible just how much work we've accomplished and why we anchor the feeling at the end of the class to the feeling at the beginning of class. Because now you know the feeling. So imagine the next time you practice, can you start with this feeling? That is the key. And start how you finish. You know how you finish. You're in it right now. So breathing in this intention, right, for your next practice. You're gonna pick up where you left off, unbroken circle. Remember, each practice lasts 24 hours. So whenever you practice again, it's like a magnet. It's gonna attach you to this moment. That's the hope. So really seal that intention with a deep breath in, sigh it out. Beautiful. And let's bring our hands together, create some good energy. Our palms, right? All the way forward, all the way up, and all the way down, right? All around. Get a little faster for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, feel, connect. Stillness, silence, spaciousness. It's within us, it's all around us. And we're going to honor that by chanting the mantra Om. Slowly bring the palms together to close the practice. Deep breath in. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. In our hearts, in our lives, and everything that we see, are, and be. The divine in me sees the divine in you. In love, with love, through love. Thank you everyone for coming out today. Namaste. Yay, everyone. Great job, as usual.